Welcome to The Tired Mom, the podcast that finally stops lying to you. Whether you're a C-suite executive, a school teacher, a frontline nurse, or a stay-at-home woman, the struggle is the same. The mental load is heavy, and the coffee is never strong enough.
I mean, honestly, the coffee at this point is, it's just a socially acceptable coping mechanism. Right?
Oh, totally. It's just brown water we use to pretend we're okay with the sheer volume of impossible expectations piled on us.
Exactly. Just, surviving the chaos.
Right. So if you are listening to this right now and you are feeling that that bone-deep tired, sister, you know the exact kind I mean.
Oh, yeah.
The kind where a nap doesn't fix it. Where, like, a weekend away doesn't even touch it.
Because you're fundamentally depleted.
Yes, depleted in your very soul. So, we're doing a deep dive today that is specifically dedicated to you. We are pulling from some incredibly validating research today centered around a concept called the guilt audit.
Such a powerful concept.
It really is. And our mission today is crystal clear. We're going to figure out exactly why we all have this bone-deep exhaustion, identify the toxic shoulds that are actively stealing our joy, and finally give ourselves permission to drop the heavy, invisible loads we never consented to carry.
And it is a critical mission because I want to validate this right up front. That specific exhaustion you're feeling, it's not just in your head.
Thank God.
Right. It's a highly measurable, biological, and societal phenomenon. What the data reveals is that you are quite literally fighting against a stacked deck.
Which is so frustrating, but also, like, such a relief to hear.
Yeah, and today we're going to unpack the actual mechanics of why this happens, and more importantly, how to rewire the brain to fight back.
Okay, I love that. Let's start with the root of the problem, because this research goes hard right out of the gate. It identifies this relentless, toxic internal voice, the shoulds.
Yeah, the joy thieves.
Exactly. And you know this voice. It's whispering in your ear right now, like, you should crush that deadline, or, you should be the perfect mom.
You should be a more attentive partner.
Yes. Or you should be working out more, and your kitchen should look like a glossy magazine cover. It's constant.
It is. And what's fascinating here is how these shoulds operate neurologically. They aren't just annoying passing thoughts.
They're way worse than that.
They function as literal cognitive parasites. They drain your executive function by piling on frustration from all these overdemands you never signed up for.
Right. I didn't sign a contract at birth saying I'd flawlessly execute 20 different conflicting roles.
Exactly. Yet the shoulds make you feel like you're in a constant state of breach of contract.
And looking at the statistics you brought for this deep dive, there's a metric that honestly makes me want to break a window.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
It's infuriating. The data shows that guilt from this constant overexertion hits women significantly harder. It spikes burnout in women 48% more than in men.
Let that sink in. 48%.
48%. It literally turns joy into a distant memory because we are just endlessly chasing this impossible perfection. I mean, why does guilt specifically weaponize itself against women so much more than men?
Well, the 48% metric is staggering, but if we connect it to the bigger picture, it means that even if a man and a woman are doing the exact same amount of work,
professional or physical,
right, the exact same amount, the woman is still experiencing nearly double the psychological burnout. And why? Because of that internal guilt-driven narrative playing in the background. The guilt is a chemical accelerant.
Okay, I have to jump in here with an analogy because when I read that spike, it painted such a vivid, infuriating picture. It's like, okay, imagine we are all forced to run a marathon.
Okay.
The men get to run this marathon on a freshly paved, perfectly flat track, wearing high-end, custom-fit sneakers.
Sounds nice.
Right. Meanwhile, women are running the exact same marathon, but we are forced to wear an invisible backpack filled with 50 pounds of rocks. And every single rock is one of those shoulds. Like, I should be thinner, I should be farther along in my career, I should be hand-making organic snacks for the bake sale.
And the invisible load just keeps getting heavier.
Exactly. We're running, our feet are literally bleeding, and society is looking at us like, why are you so tired? He's running the same race, and he looks totally fine.
That captures the dynamic perfectly. The physical exertion might look identical on the surface, but the invisible load, that backpack of rocks, is quietly crushing you.
It really is. So why are we the ones conditioned to carry the rocks?
Well, it comes down to a perfect, toxic storm of biology and societal bullshit.
Let's talk about the societal bullshit.
We will, but let's look at the biological side first. as outlined in the research. Women's life-giving biology actually wires them for a unique set of endless physiological challenges.
Oh, the hormonal roller coaster.
Exactly. You're dealing with estrogen and progesterone fluctuations that literally alter neurochemistry and stress responses constantly.
It's exhausting just existing in these bodies sometimes.
And furthermore, evolutionary psychology points to a profound biological push to nurture, to hyper-vigilantly create safety and order, even in the midst of absolute chaos.
Right, like our bodies are literally designed to tune into the micro-expressions and needs of everyone around us.
It's a survival mechanism. But then you collide that biological predisposition with the societal bullshit.
The worst kind of collision.
Truly. Modern society looks at that natural evolutionary capacity to nurture and completely weaponizes it. The expectation morphs into this idea that you must perform multitask miracles while keeping a pleasant, unbothered smile on your face.
Oh my God, the invisible mental labor. People always use that cliche of having 97 browser tabs open.
Right, the computer metaphor.
Yeah, but honestly, that doesn't capture it. Mental load is much more like running background apps on a smartphone. You might only be actively looking at like an Excel spreadsheet for work.
But your battery's draining fast.
Exactly, because you have 40 invisible apps running in the background. You're tracking the family schedule, managing everyone's emotional needs, remembering the dog needs heartworm meds, and calculating when you last bought toilet paper.
And nobody sees that.
No, your battery is dying,
Bum.
and nobody understands why, because the screen just shows the spreadsheet.
That is a brilliant way to frame it. The background processing requires massive amounts of neurological energy. And society demands that you seamlessly execute this invisible mental labor while, simultaneously climbing corporate ladders.
Yes, or managing a household. And handling all these heavy load society just expects us to silently take it and somehow stay completely on top of everything.
Which is impossible.
Totally impossible. Let me tell you, constantly trying to be on top, the sheer exhaustion of trying to be on top all the time leaves you completely wrecked. You just can't sustain that position 24/7 without it breaking you down.
It's fundamentally unsustainable. And what's fascinating here is how the data categorizes the fallout. Because our structures remain completely blind to your biological needs, it leaves women, labor-wise, massively underpaid.
Yeah.
Socially sidelined.
Yeah.
And psychologically battered. And then there is the ultimate insult. Society constantly shames your messy feelings.
The gaslighting is real.
Right. When you finally break under the weight of that heavy load, the societal reflex is to call you hysterical or overly emotional.
Which pisses me off so much, and what I find so fiercely validating about this deep dive is how the source material absolutely refuses to accept that framing.
It completely flips the script.
It really does. The research makes a fierce argument against the narrative that emotional exhaustion is somehow a weakness. Sister feeling pissed off, feeling exhausted, feeling emotionally wrecked at the end of the day. That is not a flaw in your character.
Not at all.
That is just your humanity demanding dignity, our deep sensitivity, our ability to feel the weight of the world and actually care about the outcomes. That is our superpower. The fact that we feel it all so deeply means we are alive, we are attuned. The text is very clear. It is the societal structure that is broken, not us.
That's a crucial reframe. Society has pathologized a perfectly rational response to an irrational set of demands. Which brings us to one of the most intense pressure cookers discussed in the text.
Like, boy, let's get into it.
A place where these societal and biological pressures violently intersect, the decision around motherhood.
Ah, yes. The kids or not dilemma.
Exactly.
Because this really is the ultimate dividing line for women in our culture, right? But what the data points out so clearly is that the guilt trap exists no matter what path a woman takes. The shoulds will find you either way. Let's look at the child-free path first.
The socioeconomic data here is striking. Choosing the child-free path is fundamentally about reclaiming freedom. It is dodging what the source frankly calls the bag full of shit.
I laughed so hard when I read that. It literally calls it a bag full of shit in print. And honestly, looking at the demands placed on modern mothers, that feels like the most scientifically accurate term for it.
Right. By taking the child-free path, the data shows you are dodging the very real, statistically proven motherhood penalty in your career.
Which ruins so many trajectories.
You dodge the endless sleep theft, and you dodge the reality of navigating life with zero systemic support. But even this path is fraught.
Because society hates when women opt out.
Exactly. The child-free woman exists in a world that deeply resents her choices.
Yeah.
She pays what sociologists call a child-free tax in social capital. Society constantly whispers that she should be a mother, that she is selfish or less empathetic. The guilt is just weaponized in a different font.
Which is such bullshit. It is entirely valid to look at the societal setup for mothers and say, hell yes, I am opting out of that.
Absolutely.
But then on the flip side, we have the motherhood path. And the research deeply validates that too. It acknowledges the primal pull to have kids.
A very real biological driver.
Yeah, that deep, visceral desire to create a family is beautiful. But the text doesn't sugarcoat it. If you take that path, you are immediately thrown into the fire.
Head first.
And the authors argue that mothers must actively scream for better structural support. Like, we need paid leave, we need fair pay, and we need real help, not just political lip service.
Which raises an important question, and really the unifying thread of the data we're looking at today. Whether you have kids or nah, guilt is the constant baseline hum whispering that you are failing.
Always. You can't win.
If you don't have kids, you're failing your biological destiny. If you do have kids, you're failing to be the perfect worker or failing to be the perfect Pinterest-ready mother. The societal setup guarantees a feeling of constant failure.
And to that, the source material essentially says, fuck it.
Basically, yeah.
It is time to say fuck it to that whisper. We have to speak our truth.
It's the ultimate irony. Society has completely lost its sensitivity to women. It operates with a brutal, capitalistic indifference to your biological realities and your mental load.
Yes, just pure indifference.
Yet, at the exact same time, it demands that women be endlessly, perfectly sensitive to everyone else's needs. The authors connect these dots powerfully. The only thing that will rebuild that lost sensitivity is your voice.
We can't just wait for them to notice we're drowning.
No. You cannot suffer in silence and hope the system suddenly develops a conscience. You have to, as the text says, roar from the rooftops for change.
Roar from the rooftops. I love the energy of that so much. But it also brings up a really practical issue for me.
What's that?
Well, screaming from the rooftops for systemic change is completely necessary, yes, but it takes a lot of time. Paid leave and equal pay aren't going to be magically legislated by next Tuesday.
Unfortunately not.
Right. So we have to transition from these massive systemic societal bullshit problems to an intimate, actionable solution. If society won't fix this today, how do you, the listener, reclaim your own joy right now, in your kitchen, in your car, at your desk?
This is where we move into the actual mechanics of the guilt audit and rewiring the brain.
Oh, I'm ready.
Because you actually do have agency over your internal neurochemistry, even when the external world is a disaster. The first actionable step outlined in the research is auditing the shoulds, like a boss.
Okay, what does auditing the shoulds actually look like in daily practice? Like, give me an example.
It means actively interrupting your automatic compliance. When the thought arises, should I work late again? Or should I volunteer for the PTA? You don't just blindly say yes out of a conditioned sense of guilt.
Which we all do.
We do. Instead, you audit the cost. You look at what that yes drains from your battery. And you learn to answer, nah, your joy matters more. It's a hard, unapologetic stop.
I feel like a huge part of this audit is just stopping the endless cycle of apologies.
Oh, the over-apologizing is rampant.
We apologize for absolutely everything. For taking up space, for having boundaries, for feeling our feelings. The text argues that we need to speak our truth loudly, like, my emotions count, my exhaustion is real, I deserve dignity like anyone, and I'll feel whatever the hell I want.
Exactly. Claim that space.
Sister, if you need to be angry today, be angry. If you need to cry in the shower, cry in the shower. Your messy feelings are incredibly valid.
And to solidify this, to move it from just a nice, empowering idea into a physiological reality, the research introduces a specific permission mantra.
Yes.
This is presented as the core tool for reclaiming your joy.
Okay, I want you to really listen to this mantra. In fact, the source says to state this exactly, so I'm going to give it to you verbatim. Guilt, you're fired. My chaos is beautiful. My feelings are fierce. Life is a wild, worthy gift. Joy's mine, unapologetically.
It's powerful stuff.
But okay, I have to stop you there and push back for a second. Realistically, if I'm crying in my car because I forgot my kid's bake sale, or I'm just completely overwhelmed by work saying, guilt, you're fired, feels a little, I don't know, woo-woo to me.
I get that.
Does repeating a mantra actually work, or am I just gaslighting myself into feeling better?
It's a completely fair pushback. It does sound like fluffy self-help on the surface, but let's break down the actual neurological mechanism of why this works.
Please do.
The instruction is to repeat this mantra 10 times, morning and night. In the realm of psychology and neuroscience, this acts as what are called PQ reps positive intelligence quotient repetitions.
Okay, explain that to me like I'm 5. How does repeating words physically change what's happening in my head?
It all comes down to neuroplasticity and blood flow. Right now, because of that 48% burnout spike and years of societal conditioning, your brain has built a heavily fortified neural superhighway dedicated to what psychologists call saboteur shame.
Ugh, saboteur shame, I know her well.
Right. So when a challenge arises, like forgetting the bake sale, your amygdala lights up. That's the primitive fear-based part of your brain. It hijacks your system, it blames you, and it floods your body with stress hormones.
So the guilt is literally a physical stress response.
Exactly. But here's where the mantra comes in. By interrupting that automatic shame spiral and deliberately repeating this fierce mantra 10 times, you are acting as a cognitive interrupt.
Oh, like breaking the circuit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are forcing the blood flow and electrical activity in your brain to move away from the amygdala and into the prefrontal cortex. That's the logical, empathetic, sage part of your brain.
Wow.
Every time you say it, you are laying down a new neural pathway. Hebb's law in neuroscience states that neurons that fire together wire together. You are literally rewiring the physical structure of your brain to accept the struggle and voice your worth, rather than defaulting to shame.
That is incredible. So it's not just positive thinking, it's like doing a bicep curl, but for your self-worth. You are literally flexing a new cognitive muscle until the old toxic muscle atrophies.
Precisely. You're starving the shame pathway of blood flow. And as that new sage pathway gets stronger, the research notes the inevitable result. You watch joy flood back.
Because it finally has room.
Right. Joy simply cannot biologically coexist in a brain that is actively being hijacked by saboteur shame.
I want to make this real for you right now, sister. If you are driving your car, if you are doing the dishes, if you are pretending to look at a spreadsheet while you listen to us, I want you to literally clench your fist right now.
Yeah, feel that.
Just clench them hard. Feel the physical tension in your hands. That tension is your power. It is your agency. I want you to internalize right in this exact moment that your life is beautiful.
Absolutely.
It is worth every single spicy, tear-streaked breath you take. You are a tired warrior, and you are enough. It is time to rise and live it loud. Do not let the shoulds take one more ounce of your joy.
That's the profound shift we're aiming for today. It's moving from passive, exhausted endurance to active, fierce reclamation of your own mind.
Seriously, you have handled enough heavy loads. Drop the backpack of rocks. Step off the track. Close the background apps and just take a breath.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over, building on the psychology we've unpacked today.
Let's hear it.
If your brain is wired to feel 48% more burnout just from the shoulds, what would happen tomorrow if you intentionally let just one should drop? Would the world actually end, or would you just finally get 5 minutes apiece?
What a beautiful, terrifying question. Would the world end, or would you just get to breathe? Sister, your chaos is beautiful. Your feelings are fierce. Fire the guilt. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. We see you, we validate you, and we will catch you next time. Keep living loud.